AI is moving fast, but this report argues the real competitive advantage is not just better tools, it's actually stronger brains. This is WorkVue Signals, and today we're breaking down a new report from the World Economic Forum and McKinsey Health Institute. They call this brain capital, made up of brain health and brain skills. Brain health is how well your brain functions across life. Brain skills, however, are the human capabilities that drive performance at work. Things like analytical thinking, adaptability, creativity, and empathy, plus the ability to learn and work alongside new technology. The outcome of this report is simple. In an AI-shaped economy, the scarcest asset is not information, it is human cognitive capacity, and we are underinvesting in it. Here is why they say this matters at scale. Brain health conditions now account for about 24% of global disease burden. The report says that scaling proven, cost-effective interventions could avert around 267 million disability-adjusted life years by 2050 and unlock up to 6.2 trillion in cumulative GDP gains. So the point is not just personal well-being. The report is framing brain health as a core economic growth lever. Now the future of work signal. The report pulls from the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs survey and highlights that by 2030, employers expect 59% of employees will need additional training to meet evolving skill demands. And when employers list the most critical skills now and in the future, the ones that dominate are brain skills, things like analytical thinking, creativity, leadership, resilience, and adaptability. So the outcome for workers is less clear. As AI takes more routine tasks, the value shifts towards skills that rely on judgment, learning, and complex human interaction. This is where the report becomes very practical for employers. Adults spend about a third of their lives at work, and the report states that more than 1 in 5 employees globally experience symptoms of burnout. Their point is that if organizations push AI-driven productivity without protecting brain health, the limiting factor becomes cognitive capacity, attention, stress, sleep, and mental energy. They estimate that proactive investment in employee health, inclusive of brain health, could increase global GDP by up to 12% and generate up to 11.7 trillion in economic value. Essentially, if employers are adding AI training on top of existing workloads, they also need to account for the extra cognitive demand that comes with learning new tools, especially for workers with lower digital confidence. The report finishes with a practical message. Brain capital is not a nice to have, it is part of execution. If employers want people to adapt to AI, they need to make room for learning and recovery, not just add training on top of existing workload. The 5 A's framework is a simple roadmap. Firstly, set a clear goal, and then diagnose where you are today. From this, you can redesign work and training around how people actually learn and perform. And finally, keep improving your framework based on what the data shows. The takeaway is simple. If AI raises the cognitive demand of work, companies need to manage cognitive load or they will not get the productivity benefits that they are expecting. This is WorkVue Signals. If you want research-based breakdowns of how AI is changing work and skills, with clear takeaways that you can actually use, then follow along, and we will keep doing the heavy reading so you don't have to.